That's what me and this nigga do. We pick something and then we rant about it. Yo, baby, I got all the dope moves. You got the dope what?
I think we OD'd. I think we OD'd.
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and
Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. It's cool enough just being cool, like I am, chilling.
You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. I think very deeply. I think very deeply.
You know, my bitch.
To the east, to the north, to the west, to the south, above, below, and the middle. To the east, to the north, to the west, to the south, above, below, and the center. Greetings. This is Big Pontiac, and welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by the Hero Twins, and I am that one and only Galactic Daddy-O welcoming each and every one of you to my galactic patio that reaches from Minnesota to the universe. And that might be my motherfucking cue to come on in and say what's happening to all the party people. What is happening in this world of ours. I say greetings to one and all, and as you know, I am drinking, I think it's still purified IV drinking water. So, not beer tonight. So, pop them if you got them. Because I'm drinking it in, of course, copper cup. It's funny, everybody sees me at the pickleball park drinking out of my other copper cup because I don't prefer to drink out of plastic. And they're like, Moscow Mule. It's like, all these alkies out here, Moscow Mule. You really think I would take a break and make that formula to come out here? And we are still smoking on the Unicorn Luca with the barbershop design bubbler. It's pretty good there. I will do. That will do. Oh. Brightens a nigga up. Hey, Key, thank you for joining me. Because I know that. And I know you also have.
You got to have vision.
All right. Thank you for joining me. I guess as I put in my header, the Panthers won. I mean, this is how bogus they did it. The Panthers won. It was like 4 seconds left. I mean, it was like 3-3. Because we was watching it at TGIF Fridays, watching the hockey game while we was having a late dinner. And the score was it was 3-3. So we left the restaurant. We got home about the last 3 minutes. We lived really close. And it looked like it was going to be overtime. They dropped a goalie. Panthers rushed them. And they scored with 4 seconds left to go to the finals. That shit was so bogus. I was like, this is some bogus shit. This is some bogus shit. It's kind of just comical almost. It was comical. If I didn't see it for myself, it would seem comical. But let's see, is that what I'm on? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's get into that. Some interesting things have been going on here in the Great White North. And so I want to share some of these things. One thing that just went here is taxes. So if you make what they just passed here, if you make less than 75 grand. So if you make 75 grand or less, you're going to, because they had a COVID surplus. They had a surplus of cash. So if you made less than 75 grand, you get $250. If you're a family, you'd get $250 plus so many bucks for your children. So a husband, wife made less than 75. So you know who they're aiming this at. Now, you know, I'm going to get it because I only made 50 bucks all year, so I'm qualified. You dig? I only made 50 bucks, and so they looked at me and they said, Big Pontiac only made 50 bucks. He gets a check. I'm going to get some, like, maybe a big bottle of champagne or something, you know, celebrate y'all, you know. But anyway, then they turned around and raised the income tax. No. See, we don't have a tax on clothes here, but we do have a sales tax. There's no tax on the clothes, but we do have sales tax. So you won't get the sales tax on the clothes, but you're going to get it on everything else. They put another tax on gasoline. So you know, it's interesting. Yes, they passed they passed marijuana, but then they hit everybody with these taxes. So, but this is something we've been going through here, and you know, we are on the 2-year anniversary of Floyd, and we're going to talk about it. And if you don't know, this is where Floyd got killed. Technically, he got killed right here. I remember right. I think he was on this side. He's on maybe this side. No, on the way traffic, he had to be. But somewhere over here, Floyd got killed. This is over on the south end. So I'll let them tell the rest of the story.
Our city and country was changed forever. It was the day George Floyd was murdered. His death sparked a worldwide reckoning of racial justice and also put a spotlight on the Minneapolis Police Department and how they operate.
Okay, there should be a worldwide something for this blouse. I mean, how could you go buy this ugly thing? Like, really, like, you saw this blouse and you thought this looked good for the springtime. This is uglier than ugly. I mean, I'm not really into women's clothes like that, but I mean, I'm just looking at this and I'm thinking, this is ugly. You done bought this at a farmer's market or some shit. This did not come from the mall. You don't buy stuff from your friends, honey. Just because your friend got a farmer's market, don't buy this kind of stuff. This is ugly. He's okay. Randy's okay. Let's go. I'm sorry, I get distracted.
Part of that investigation, there are now new rules the department must follow, including what police can pull you over for. Danny Spiewak joins us with a closer look at the changes. Danny?
Well, Randy and Julie, under this new agreement with the state of Minnesota, Minneapolis police cannot pull over drivers if the only purpose for the stop is for a minor violation like a broken light or mirror. MPD already had some of these rules in place, but this settlement with the state expands them significantly and will be enforced by the courts.
The provisions surrounding traffic stops are familiar to me.
Activists like Nikema Levy-Armstrong have long made traffic stops one of their top issues.
And what the statistics reinforced was the fact that Black people were more likely than their white counterparts to be pulled over for equipment violations.
Last year, a Minnesota Department of Human Rights investigation found that 54% of MPD traffic stops from 2017 to 2020 involved Black occupants, despite them making up just 19% of the Minneapolis population.
And I think that 19% might even be, but do you dig this? Melanated people were being stopped 1 out of 2 times. 1 out of 2 stops in Minneapolis proper was a melanated person, despite us having such a small percentage overall. So 19%, I guess we can add that up, 19% of 3.5 million people. And yet we are, and Minneapolis proper is not 3.5 million people. And this is Minneapolis proper, which is basically about 370,000 people. But 1 out of 2 stops, and they live mostly in 1 or 2 areas. Most melanated people live in the north side, or they live on parts of the south side, where they showed Floyd. And this is only the 3-year period from 17. Just think before then. It was probably 70, 80%. before then. When the gang unit was running rapid from, I think it's 2000 to 2010, they could stop people. If it had anything to do with drugs or gangs, they had the ability to stop people. So do you see how the melanated people in this city used to be harassed? And I've said they pushed the people to the point of doing what happened in Floyd. I've said if anybody's listened to me any kind of time, I've said from the very beginning, Castile's murder, I'm old man and on the other ones, but Castile was one of them, very sketchy. Castile, the one. Castile was afterwards. So, okay, it was Castile and it was another dude. Another dude had a permit to have a gun, told the cop he had the gun, was getting the permit, and the cop shot him on Facebook when Facebook Live first showed up. We had that murder too. So this was a test case. And after Floyd, it was another one. It was one out in Brooklyn Park where, remember, the dude, he pulled off and she kept yelling, taser, taser, and she popped his ass, and now she's back out of jail. She's back out of jail for shooting that boy. People forget, have short minds, time goes on. Taser, taser, and she pops him with the 9 and kills him. She only did a couple years, not even 2 years. Well, here we go.
20 involved black occupants, despite them making up just 19% of the Minneapolis population. According to the state, officers admitted that MPD stops vehicles with people of color for either no genuine reason or for low-level violations.
Let's look at that again. Stops vehicle with the people of color with either no genuine reason or very low reason. I just see a black person, I'm going to stop them. So let's see what happens. I'm going to stop a melanated person just because I feel like it. And let's even go deeper. I'm going to stop a melanated person because if I don't stop people, they're out here saying I'm not doing anything. When I go get evaluated, I'm pressured to stop people to show that I'm doing something out there. And I don't see a lot of my people doing things. So I know if I stop one of them, more than likely something else might come from it.
No genuine reason or for low-level.
And it's police Jim Crow. You know, it's police Jim Crow.
Violations. To address this problem, MPD policies, last updated in 2021, place some restrictions already on when officers could pull people over, like expired tabs or items in a mirror.
We already had in policy that you can't pull somebody over because an air freshener was hanging from the rear view mirror.
But moving forward, the new court-enforceable settlement between the city and state expands these rules.
This agreement does lay out some specificity with some additional instances.
Oh man, now y'all talking about, look at this. Our downtown is sweet. I don't know what y'all talking about. Now, is this some Tartarian, you mud flood kooks? Tartarian building. This is a building. This is a Tartarian building right here. They didn't have the tools to build this. Look, all the buildings look different. All the buildings look different, but this is a Tartarian building. This is a building from the mud flood. Them kooks. This is the jail. All right? This is an old ass jail. This is the jail. They talking about when they put somebody in jail, they put you under the clock. This is what they talk about. There's the tower. But this is my lawyer right here. My lawyer I love very much. She right up in there. You know? So if it's real shit, she's like, give me a call. I keep you on retainer. You can't even hardly get up in here. It's like the floors are locked. If you don't have a pass to get up in there, they ain't letting you in. You ain't getting up in there. But anyway, our downtown is spectacular. It's funny, her office is way up here, and when the Metrodome roof failed with all the snow got on there, I mean, we was just looking inside the Metrodome from her office. This is beautiful. You can see all southern. But anyway, get carried away. But, you know, our downtown is nice. But anyway, go ahead.
These rules.
This agreement does lay out some specificity with some additional instances that can't be the initial primary reason for pulling somebody over.
Those reasons now include broken lights, broken mirrors, failing to signal, and cracked windshields, among others, unless someone is driving unsafely.
Initially, I was concerned.
But after reviewing the data, police...
Okay, let's get this straight. Men's hair don't grow this far down on their forehead. All right. So that means all this is glued in and combed over. See? It just doesn't grow down your forehead like this, y'all. I mean, I know some people say, you know, you got the Eddie Wolfgang, Widow's Peak, whatever. But yeah, this is unnatural. So we know this is a wig. But anyway, let's go.
I was concerned.
But after reviewing the data, Police Chief Brian O'Hara says he's comfortable with the language in the agreement.
I don't think this is going to have a significant or a real impact on public safety at all. There is still the exception if someone is operating the vehicle in an unsafe manner.
The settlement requires MPD officers to consider totality of the circumstances when deciding if an equipment violation is putting public safety at risk.
Someone having a broken tail light can cause an issue when they're driving. At the same time, an issue like that shouldn't be weaponized, particularly against Black motorists, which is what we saw happening. Particularly against Black motorists, which is what we saw happening. So I'm glad that shouldn't be weaponized, particularly against Black motorists, which is what we saw happening. So I'm glad that has now been memorialized in the agreement.
Also, the new agreement bans MPD from searching people or their vehicles solely based on the smell of marijuana, which of course in Minnesota will be legal here soon anyway. Chief O'Hara told us that he's ready for that change, given that he worked in New Jersey previously, where recreational marijuana has been legal since 2021.
At Removery, we specialize in helping you express.
I wanted to give him some props for his suit. His suit was crispy. I wanted to give him some props. Let me cut this off and let me see. I wanted his suit was nice. You know, I'll be talking about how these goofies be dressed. He was dressed nice. Oh, don't switch on me. Why are you doing this? It is switching on me. I'm not. Like, how do I get away from you? Oh, okay, like that. Hello. Let's see where that is. Lorenzo! Thank you for joining me, Lorenzo. And I know you have.
Got to have vision.
I was still, and it's another weird story about them. Let's see. Here's another one. This is interesting. I don't know how they're going to enforce this, but I think it's a good idea, no doubt. But this is what they just passed. So yeah, we can go here.
Minnesota's capital city.
On top of new red flag laws and background checks, this new city ordinance aims to keep stolen guns off the streets. WCCO's Alan Henry is in the newsroom right now to explain this new rule. Hi there, Alan.
Hey there, that's right. Council members tell me they've been working on this idea for...
Okay, again, quit buying the Target clothes. At least you put a t-shirt on. Last time you was lacking, but this time you got the t-shirt on. Bruh. Go get you a ball shirt. Go get you a polo, something. I mean, if you want to wear polos, like, man, you know, you can get polo. There's no polo right here. But you're getting the quality clothes, baby. All right, I'm sorry. Let's go.
For 2 years now. If Mayor Carter signs it, and he's expected to, it would penalize people who leave their guns unsecured.
Guns are the leading cause of death for children under 18 right now. It used to be cars, and now it's guns. And a lot of those tragedies.
Okay, that's not really true. That is not true. Guns are not the leading cause of people getting killed. Or children. That is not true. That is totally propaganda. That is totally looking at one thing. But no. That is not drownings, I think, is the number one cause of children's death. But let's go.
Tragedies are completely avoidable.
St. Paul City Council member Rebecca Naker says those stats from the CDC are what led her to start working on changing the city's code. If enacted, the ordinance would make it a misdemeanor to leave a loaded or unloaded gun in a place where someone who shouldn't have access could take it. Gun owners would have to use things like trigger locks or safes to keep their guns inaccessible or inoperable when storing them. That goes for ammunition, too.
Knowing how many people die of suicide when, if there had just been that extra second longer that the gun had been inaccessible, those deaths could be prevented. Knowing how many guns are stolen out of cars and then used for murders, shots fired, all kinds of crimes in our city, those were all things that I wanted to do something about.
Since 2020, stats from the city show more than 1,900 guns have been recovered by police. Of them, 150 were stolen, 97 from vehicles, and there have been 13 gun incidents at schools. Supporters of the ordinance celebrated its passage.
I think the laws that have been passed at the legislature are going to be very helpful, and today is another step forward.
But in a statement, the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus called the ordinance illegal, saying, quote, "In the unlikely event the city tries to enforce the unconstitutional provisions of this ordinance, we will be prepared to take swift legal action." Now,
this is a gun state, so let's go.
Mayor Carter says he does support this ordinance and plans to sign it. If he does, it would go into effect 30 days later unless there is that legal action. But council members told me today they worded this ordinance intentionally so that it could survive any potential legal change.
You got 30 days to get you a new shirt, man. Come on. Your clothes are whack. Dude, your clothes are just like, oh, okay. That's what we do now, huh? Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what's happening. Whoops. Shut up. Okay. Cut them off. That's me anyway. Yes, cut them off. Okay. Oh, here we go. What's down there in the Atlantic Ocean water in South Florida? Miami basketball teams in Final Four. Panthers in Stanley Cup. Heat going to play in the NBA Finals. Well, the Heat have to go to Boston first. So the Heat have to go to Boston first. So they lost to Boston yesterday, which it didn't seem, again, the effort wasn't quite there. Well, no, let me take that back. Bam had a pretty good game, but we saw the lack of defensive effort. We saw the lack of defensive effort, and no one can argue that at all. Old plain green collar shirt. Yeah. It's like, man, where do you get your funk from? So that was what I got out of the game yesterday. All of a sudden, Tatum, who ain't did really anything the 3 previous games, all of a sudden he comes through. And so when you see that, it makes you, I don't know, it just makes you very skeptical. It's like, where was that at the other 3 games? And remember, the finals do not start until June 1st. So we've got Thursday. I think the way it would go is Thursday, Saturday, Monday. I think Monday holiday would be game 7, right? We're going into game, is that 4? We're going to 5. Then we'd have 2 more. So it'd be Thursday, Saturday. Yeah, probably Monday. No, just 2, Thursday, Saturday. And this whole time you have Denver resting, and you can't underestimate rest. Oh, but the pickleball god, you saw that's, the pickleball god. Oh, OTF, what is happening?
You got to have vision.
So today, the pickleball god got it in. I'll be 62 in 30 days. And today, I got in 11,000 steps, 5 miles of exercise. Now, yeah, 11,200 steps, roughly 4.9 miles. All right. Today we had what's called duper. Anybody out there that's in pickleball, it's a way you can get every time you play. Doesn't matter. If you play a game, you can put in the information. So that's what we had today. And it was I beat everybody there and was just warming up. And then like one of the guy who runs it came, and he's one of the top players, and a couple other dudes. And me and him beat these other two guys. And then I went to play with this other guy, and I beat him and this other guy. So it's like I started pretty good. Then I played with a father that really, his two sons could play, which was interesting because of their ages. I was quite surprised how well they played. And I'll say that if I would have had a slightly better player, it'd have been a little fair, but what I had, I was still putting that business in on them. Played a few games with them. And then I played 2 games with this young boy. The first game, we lost to some older dudes who I had beat before. Matter of fact, yesterday I beat one of the guys, or the day before. But we played them tough. The next game, we had played some guys who had beat us last week. We put work on them. And then strangely, the event organizer put me with a dude who was like, just started playing. So I was like, what is even no competition? So I've got a rating. But I want to show everybody, I've got to take some of my shoes and, put them up. And this is the Donovan Mitchell Bel Air edition from last season. Not this past season, but the season before. And yeah, look at the tread. It's like, I've been wearing these I got new ones, but it's like I've been wearing these too. And like the tread is hit. It's like, oh. So this is like just 2 years. Yeah, so these will go to storage. And I'll say, these shoes are made, I can't walk in these shoes at all. I can't walk in them. Those type of Adidas, they're good for pickleball, but that's about it. I don't even know if I was still hooped, I don't know if I could hoop. And like this pair is even more beat up. So I can take them out the closet. Put these up. I mean, they still look okay. They don't look bad on the outside. But again, I can't walk in these. These are just, there's nothing in the forefoot of these. And which in pickleball is kind of okay. I can kind of wear something. I can put some arches in. But yeah. So those get to go. Those get to go in the closet. A little bit of tobacco. Homie 43, what's happening?
Got to have vision.
Next school season, our kids are going to be starting school, losing 2 weeks of summer. They're going to school for 9 weeks, but going to be off for 2 weeks. I don't like that. Wow. I wouldn't like that either. I would not like that either. That's interesting. Now, I remember if the Heat win tonight, they'll have 5 days rest. Yeah, that's a good point. But what if they lose? If the Heat lose tonight, they ain't going to have much rest. They ain't going to have much rest. I'll pull up an NBA schedule to see to remember how they're doing it. Probably got it up here. I can research this. let's see. So they're going to go Thursday, Saturday. Yeah, Thursday, Saturday, Monday. Yeah, Thursday, Saturday, Monday. Yep. Because they play tomorrow, my time, 7:30, but must be 8:30 Eastern time. So, but yeah, they got it for it'll be Memorial Day or whatever day's coming up. So yeah. So if they goes to game 7, they're only going to have 4 days rest. That's going to be a toll. You know, they always say that team is more sharp because they've been playing. No, rest this time of year trumps all that. Rest trumps all that. But we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Oh, L Dragon, what's happening?
Got to have vision.
Oh, I'm just drinking water today. I drank a beer at the restaurant. I drank the Surly. Oh, we're going to Surly. Now, I'll say this, and I forget about it. It is places here, but when you live in places like this, you just, it's like, I'll say this. My fiance's family, they're more, and my mother and her little, well, they're all the same group, but they are more, they've showed me more places to eat than I would really care about. But there are good places to go if you come here. And Surly is actually a brewery. Surly is a brewery on the Mississippi River. And it's an outdoor restaurant as well as an indoor restaurant. You can get like burgers and pizza. It's like they're separated too. So if you want a pizza, you got to go upstairs, I think, and order it. And they'll bring it down to you. And then you order the other food, I think, when you sit there. So if you want pizza, you got to, I think, go upstairs, or it's the way you got to order it. But and it's cornhole. You can play cornhole on a nice day. My daughter's been there before. I think my son took me for my birthday a few years ago. So we might do that this weekend because we're gonna have my great nephew with us. He's gonna be with us. I think I've told this before. Like with my great nephew, he went up to all the basketball games with us this winter. We're gonna really try to get his gear and stuff. And I just remember, my nephew died. And my fiance's nephew died. So I remember taking him home one night after we had taken him to a game, and we had bought him a jacket and we bought him a vest. And I remember getting a vision of his dad, and his dad was like, glad that we taken an interest in him. So him and Natalie, him and my daughter's a year older, so he's still in elementary. She's in junior high. And what's funny, he references her on what's happening in junior high. His grandmother would tell him one thing, and he'd be like, well, that's not what Natalie says. Natalie says, to be cool, you got to do this. And so they laugh, and it makes all of us laugh. So he looks at her, it's my kind of big cuz. So, and what's going to be cool is my daughter's going to chug at the wedding. My daughter's going to chug flowers at people, and then he's going to be the ring bearers. Yeah. So, and it's going to be cool because my daughter and him will be standing. The way I'm going to have it set up is my daughter and him are going to be standing behind us. So it's like, we have the young generation and then we have the older generation. So yeah, Frog and Sue, what is happening?
Got to have vision.
And Jesus Saves, thank you for coming in.
Got to have vision.
So yeah, that's just some stuff. So yeah, I had a beer earlier, but I didn't really need to drink no beer today. I just drank one tall, but I worked out pretty well today, so I feel good. We walked 2 miles, and the land I live on is holy land. Most of this Dakota land is pretty magical up here. But there's 2 points there's 2 points around where I live that are the most magical. And it's this hill I live on. and it's the lake. And so where I lived is the path where they would go to the lake. And so when I walk around the lake, I carry this. And it's funny, the energy pockets that it shows. It shows where all the energy pockets are. And so it's interesting to feel the energy. And so you can see, like, at certain places you can see, and this is this is what's real deep about this place. You could see at one time this lake was much deeper. Like, as you walk, you can see how high the lake once sat. And we were trying to figure out what did they do with the water? Like, you can see that the water, and this ain't just where they dug out. This was where water, I can tell the difference between them digging a part out and sloping it compared to where you once saw where water was. And that's how this is built. You can see that the water line was once higher. And so we've been trying to figure out, like, how did they get rid of the water? But it was 2 miles. Like, we park by some friends, and then we walk from the friends to the front of the park, all the way back to the front of the park and to the car. It was over 2 miles. So I played pickleball for roughly 2 hours. And today, pretty high level for the most part. Everybody I played against was pretty good. I played with some people not so good, but that's okay. That's how it goes. But, been doing all the exercises. Like, I got about 10-pound weights, hit them, the rope. I mean, understand the things that's quick hands. Pickleball is just quick hands. And one thing that I know I kill people with is, like, if people go to my left, and now think about it. Most right people, when the ball goes to your left, you'll backhand. You dig? You'll take an extra step. So they have a little extra step to recover. But I've noticed if the ball goes to my left and I use my forehand, most people aren't ready for that. They're not ready for me because I can react quicker. It's quicker for me to just switch my paddle and go left-handed. And playing both hands, I don't know if y'all know just the way you have to think, especially thinking and making these decisions and making both sides of my brain work. Because I kind of am both-handed. I could hoop. I told the story before. A dude underducked me. I broke my right hand. We had another tournament game the next weekend. I took my cast off, put it in the bag, and I shot left-handed. And I had like 18, 19 points. And I remember after the game, one of the guys saw me put my cast back on my hand. He's like, "Why you do that?" I was like, "Oh, my hand broke." He said, "Your hand broke?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm right-handed, but I can shoot either way." And, of course, anybody dribbling, you got to dribble left-handed. So, are the dams nearby? No, there's no dams nearby at all. It's like there's another lake. Lakes up here, like even living, like it's big houses that live around this lake. But it's like, it's nothing. If you want to live around water up here, if that's your goal, it's not hard to live around water. I mean, I've had a home right on the water too, where we had a pond in my backyard. I've told that story. I'm sitting in the backyard smoking a joint, and there's a duck in my pond, that is entertaining me, just watching the duck dig in nature. And out of nowhere, this eagle snatches this full duck out the water. But anyway, I'm walking around the place and, feeling the energy and just enjoying summer. And this is, trying to stay in shape. So I didn't play pickleball all summer because I kind of hurt my arm. And so, now going to get there. Now definitely going to get there. To be the pickleball guy. Oh, my main man in $1 million grand and somebody. And somebody I know.
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What?
And I know you can control yours, CJ. What's happening? Must be some underground caverns. Jamar, what's happening?
Got to have vision.
Well, the possibilities of moving water is a couple possibilities. I'm trying to... It will be possible to pump it It would be long, but very possible if they had to pump the water to the Minnesota River, because we technically are 5 to 10 miles, maybe not quite, maybe closer to 5 miles. So that's a way they could pump a lot of water away. Now, is there a smaller river leading that way? Because, you know, the Mississippi River runs north to south. Now, I was trying to see our smaller rivers that they could feed, that could go, you know, because it's that close. So that's the thing, is like, what did they do? But they definitely, you could see the water this was a much deeper lake. And this lake was supposed to be the spiritual of a chief called Big Eagle or Black Dog. And I remember years ago, I had a Black Dog mug. You know, I never knew what it was, but I knew where Black Dog, the road was. It's been here for years. And I show the picture of Black Dog that once lived in this area. And it's documentation. I was supposed to be sent all that documentation, how they took his land. So, I'll tell a funny story. And this is a true story. Here's a true story I was given. Let me see. How can I protect the innocent by telling this story? I'll just tell it like this part. So a young person today is given a check for $1 million. Can you dig? He's given a check for $1 million. Now, what do you think a young person, what are you supposed to do? A young person who gets a check for $1 million, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to get it cashed, right? And you can get a debit card and all that, whatever. So common business sense would tell you what? That you can't go buy a car the same day you put a check in. Now, technically you can. Technically you can, because the bank, most of the time, the bank is happy. Because you put in a check for $1 million and they know where the bank comes from. Even though even though it takes time, the bank knows where the money coming from. And they know that the money's good. Now, if you're cool with the bank will be like, hey, all you had to do is call the bank and say, hey, you know, I'm trying to buy these 2 cars. But the moral of the story is, this dude tries to buy 2 vehicles with a debit card. Not appearing to be smart enough to understand that, first of all, you've got to wait till the check clears a couple days. You should tell the bank if you plan on doing this, because the bank would even give you a temporary loan for the amount. So there's a lot of ways he could have went about it, but he just like went in there. So imagine this: you go in there and want you a couple of them demons, them Hellcats, and you go. They sign all the paperwork, and you slap down your debit card. He gets rejected, and you're devastated because you don't know better. I mean, this guy did not know better. This guy did not know that you got to wait a couple days for the check to clear. And you should tell the bank what you plan on doing. Get a check over, get all your stuff and say, hey, bank, I'm going to go down there and try to do this. What y'all think? They would have helped him out. Lucky he's not surprised he didn't pull out EBT. Can I get these demons for this EBT? Oops, wrong card. Oh, Anthony G, what's happening?
You got to have vision.
Give the innocent factual names, fictitious names. Yeah, I'm crossing a little slippery slope a little bit, so I have to kind of tell the story in a way, but it is a true story. That's a true story. That's how you know exactly. That's it. How you know that some bugs don't need it. And how don't you have that understanding of money that it don't work like that? Like even if you hit the lottery, you can't go in there thinking you're gonna get some money the day that they give you the check. You know, it's gonna take a minute for the money to come. You know how the government moves. You're getting it from the government, so you know how the government moves. So, yeah, he should have got a financial advisor. Absolutely. And I'm saying, you know, if he would have been just told the bank would have okayed the cars. The bank, because again, the banks know where this money comes from. You know, he been told to go to that bank by some of his family. So the bank understands. So all he had to do is go into the bank and talk to him and say, hey, I'm getting some of them Hellcat, Scatback, Demon. I'm getting a couple of them. I'm flossing. This is my birthday. Let's go. And he got the X stonk, you know. He got the. Oh, that's what happened when he put a debit card in. He got the. I wonder if I have. Where is it? I don't think I have a card up here. Okay, that's enough. Yeah, it ain't gonna come. Exactly. There's some more I can say about that, but I'm gonna leave that alone. So, you know, you win the lottery, you set up everything, you set up corporations, you set up blind trust, all those kind of ways. So, you know, you buy everything in trust. So they can't come and say, hey, I'm going to steal your house or I'm going to put a lien on your house. It don't work that way. It's a way that you can set up all this stuff to protect yourself. If you get that kind of bread. If you, see, I don't have those problems. See, I only make $50 a year. So I only got $50 a year problems. You see, all this stuff in here, it only costs $50 less. You know, so I am the best budgeting person in America. I look fly on $50 a year. So, you know, I think more people need to study my economics and how do you do it? I don't think it's been a cool day. You know, we're going to have beautiful weather coming up, y'all. I should show you that. Let's give you some of this. Yes. We are the envy of the nation, y'all. Let me show you why. You should come up here. People love us. We got the best. I mean, she's got a look on her face that's really kind of I don't know. As I say, this is a couple. I like his summer suit. It's nice. I'll give Frank credit. Frank is okay today. And this is his wife, and, you know, she's got that look on her face, kind of suspicious, you know, she knows a secret. And I got a secret. But she looks okay. This is a spring day. So let's hear what they got to say, y'all.
Like by visiting our world-class parks.
No, let's hear that again. What?
Sure, there are many ways to enjoy a Minnesota summer.
Like by visiting our world-class parks. In fact, a nonprofit organization just named St. Paul, Minneapolis as home to the country's second and third best parks. Only Washington, D.C. could edge us out. WCCO's Joseph James explains why we are so successful and what is next for Twin Cities parks.
The sound of music tucked into the cityscape of Rice Park in St. Paul.
We can't let that go by. Why are you there, dude? I hope you don't have a little. Oh, but he does have an arm cuff like I wear. Okay, you got a baseball African jersey, little. I don't know. But why are you out here, dude, in the middle of the park? Okay, let's go. I'm sorry.
Music tucked into the cityscape of Rice Park in St. Paul.
I love the parks. I love the music in the parks.
Damn, where did they find her?
What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing?
What are we doing here? Oh no. Like it was 75, 80 degrees today, and she's got all this long shirt on, this big sweater. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I mean, look at this. Look at those. Like, where what are those? What kind of boots? She got some Doc Martens on. Like, why do we only see one of her feet? How did she hide her other foot? Like, where did she put her other foot? Where is her other foot? Like, there ain't no crutches or nothing around here. So how would she hide her other foot like that? But I'm sorry, but this is hilarious. It's like, if I wouldn't even think this is true. But okay, let's go. I'm sorry.
And the flowers, everything about the parks.
Cindy Smedberg can't get enough of the park system here in the Twin Cities.
Oh, she got Doc Martens. Oh, Cindy got on Doc Martens and Lula Rose. These is Lula Rose. Y'all, Cindy, get down with your bad self. Get down with your bad self, Cindy.
Cities. They're so coveted that the Trust for Public Land has the Twin Cities park system in the nation's top 3. St. Paul coming in at number 2 and Minneapolis number 3. Why? Access, acreage, investment, amenities, and equity. Andy Rodriguez, St. Paul Parks and Recreation Director, says they try to set an example.
A lot of other park systems look to us as kind of a national model.
Let me tell you this. Our parks are almost recognized as another city entity. As I said, the parks have police. That's all they do is park police. Part of those people messing with Floyd were park police. The parks are almost looked at as another city entity. Let's go.
Between us and Minneapolis, we complement each other very well for the region and nationally.
And that is for all residents. Hoping to create the best park system that can be spread across.
Uh-oh. Mud flood castle, guys. The jail is from the mud flood. That's why they put people in the jail. This might be from the other side, though, but I think this is the Minneapolis side. I can't tell. This might be St. Paul side. No, I think it's from the city hall. Let's go.
All neighborhoods.
And we also want to make sure that the amenities that we have in our system are reflective of all different cultures and community that we see in St. Paul.
Over in Minneapolis, the goals are the same.
Across the diversity of our users and the people that want to have access to parks, we focus on that. And so we have all these different kind of parks with parklets and smaller ones, larger parks.
For the parks superintendent, he says it's not about the score, but doing their best for the people.
We hear from our community what their needs are. And so we make sure that we meet those needs.
In the Twin Cities, Joseph Dames, WCCO News.
Park Score says that virtually all St. Paul and Minneapolis residents live within a 10-minute walk of a park.
Yes, we are the park capital. It is sweet up here. Y'all just don't know. In the winter times, the park's got hockey and warming rooms. So you want to come up here just to go to one of the parks. Here's a park story for you. When I lived on the north side, where all the black folks live, the melanated folks, they call it over north. So you hear them, you come here and you start listening to this strange way of talking. They like, well, you want to go over north. And you'll be like, what is that? It'd be almost like, they asking you if you was like a slave and want to be free going over north. You want to go over north, you'll be free. I don't know where they get it from. But anyway, there was a park, big park, very near me. 5 minutes to walk, if that. And one time we were playing, and I guess it was a bunch of gang members, but it was so funny. Before they all started hooping, they all put their guns in the trash barrel. So we're hooping, and the game is like 12-11, something like that. We're playing to 15. I think my son was playing even that day. So he was probably 12, 13, but probably about my height at that point. And the way the sidewalks are, they're wide enough for the cars. So the park police cars drive through. And soon as they saw that park police car, all them dudes grabbed their guns out the trash, like they quit immediately hooping, ran to the trash can, grabbed their guns, and they all took off running in the group. It's like, damn, I don't want to live like that. I definitely don't want to live like that. Lucky.
New tonight, even tougher gun rules.
Lucky, you know, it hasn't been a lot going on, which is good. The weather is going to be great. Yeah, this was a couple of days ago, but you know, up here it's pretty liberal, and I don't know if y'all heard about this.
Decision to make a lot of merchandise celebrating the LGBTQ community during the season of Pride. While the official month of Pride is more than a week away, the consequence of
okay, and that's one thing. Let me put it back on me. Okay. Just like they took Fred Hampton's flag, the Rainbow Coalition comes from Fred Hampton's flag in Chicago. The Rainbow Coalition comes from Fred Hampton's flag in Chicago. They've stole that. June is Black History Music Month. Melanated Music Month is June. Now they're trying to say it's for them. And again, no shade to anyone, but I'm saying they're hijacking Black History Month. She's saying like Black History Month doesn't exist. Something that existed before this movement existed. But okay, let's go.
Target, being proud to be an ally and sell merchandise for Pride, has arrived early. The company said today it would pull some of its merchandise from the shelves. Why? It claims employees in stores are getting threats because of that merchandise, impacting those folks' sense of safety. Target didn't tell us where this is happening or has happened or much else. And that lack of specifics combined with pulling back the merchandise is causing its own issues tonight. Right, Morgan?
That's right, Jana. Yeah. I talked with our largest queer advocacy group today, Outfront Minnesota, and also heard from the national group GLAAD. And they are not at all glad about what went down today with Target.
For over 10 years, you can walk into a Target store in June and see their Pride collection. It's not just rainbow t-shirts. This year it includes clothing that LGBTQ community members can wear, specifically swimsuits designed to be friendly for trans people. It's these items that sparked outcries on social media. Some people also upset with baby pride onesies like this woman in a video who called it grooming. In a statement, Target said, since introducing this year's collections, we've experienced threats impacting our team members' sense of safety and well-being while at work. Adding, given these volatile circumstances, we are making adjustments to our plans, including removing items that have been at the center of the most significant confrontational behavior.
Here in Minnesota, we have a lot to celebrate. On the other, we're looking at a national landscape that's still really challenging and hostile towards LGBTQ folks.
Calrone says that the Minnesota-based retailer's decision comes at a divisive time for transgender people and their civil rights.
A mix of different emotions. One, deep empathy and concern for Target employees who are facing, threats, and also, concern for how that feels for our communities when, there's both that sense of like we're still very vulnerable, and also what does it mean for us when products that are meant to serve and celebrate and support community are getting moved or pulled.
Recently, Bud Light faced backlash over a partnership with a transgender woman. It led to massive boycotts of the beer. Target's situation wasn't boycott-fueled, but as they claim, it was made over safety concerns. GLAAD came out with a scathing statement that reads in part, anti-LGBTQ violence and hate should not be winning in America, but it will continue to until corporate leaders step up as heroes for their LGBTQ employees and consumers, and do not cave to fringe activists calling for censorship.
Important thing is that our allies are steadfast in their support. At the end of the day, we're going to face these calls and threats. And
at when? What did he say? At the end of what? What was that?
At the end of the day.
Well, how does the end of the day have anything to do with it?
Support. At the end of the day.
You know what? People use that phrase too to make other people think they're intelligent. But okay, let's go.
We're going to face these calls and threats and, have to endure that as a community. But when we have strong allies and strong communities standing alongside us, we're all stronger together and we can weather through it.
You may be asking yourself, why didn't we see more of Target's comments in this story?
I didn't ask myself that, but okay, let's go.
Well, I wanted those for you as well. I reached out to them twice today and got no response. Jana, I know you also reached out a couple of times too.
Your outfit kind of looks like it could have came from Target. This is pretty plain Jane. Look at this material. She might have made this herself. This is so simple. Maybe that's a t-shirt. But like, you probably got your clothes from Target. That is just a t-shirt and a skirt. T-shirt and a skirt. Wow, this station does not pull for clothes. I mean, this station, they're kind of chintzing on the clothes. But okay, let's go.
No response to you either. But we do want to know where this happened and what happened. We just aren't getting...
They took the shit off the shelves. That's what happened. What happened? You know what happened. They pulled the shit off. People's like, get that bullshit up out of here. Why would you need a onesie like that? I mean, is this the same thing? This is care. Let's see what
vaping nicotine.
Let's see what my favorite station said about it. It's never just, let's see what my favorite station says about it. It's the same story. Maybe they got a little more flavor to the story. Let's see. Ooh. Tell us, girl.
For more than a decade.
No, let's hear. Let's
section at Target. The company is choosing to pull some of those items.
Oh, she looking good tonight. Got a little tan in here, maybe a little too much red, but she's looking good tonight. Work it, girl, work it.
It was just days before the start of Pride Month. Reg Chapman tells us why.
Again, June is Black Music Month.
For more than a decade, Target has offered products to celebrate Pride Month. But this year's collection has led to threats of team members forcing...
Okay. He's a very ugly guy, so it's no way to get around. He's not very attractive. But I'll say... Is the collar... Okay, again, there's no t-shirt. There's no t-shirt. Now, can we say he doesn't have a wife beater on? We don't quite know, but I'm saying he probably doesn't even have a white beater on. So that's the first knockdown you get. You should have a warm, cooling Italian cotton t-shirt, baby. But anyway, the shirt is not bad. I don't know. The collar should be a little stiffer. This looks like maybe a second time wearing a press shirt. Collar should be stiffer. This is not a summer color. You really wouldn't go this dark. But the cut for his badly shaped ass is okay. So let's go.
...the corporation to remove some of those items. Target says they've experienced threats over the displays that impact workers' sense of safety. Some of the products have been removed, some displays taken from the front of stores. Target says it is moving forward with its commitment to the LGBTQ plus community and stands with them as they say.
Okay.
Moved, some displays taken from the front of stores. Been removed, some displays.
All right. This is kind of like that commercial where the goes to school and has the mustache. Remember that commercial? I don't know. You couldn't even tell what kind of really person this is. I don't see anything. Let's see. Okay. This is pretty little. Who is this made for? What age is this made for? This is pretty little. This is very little. This is like first grade. So come on. This is little. These are a little bigger, but not here. And this is a small child. Small. Like, man, what is it? I forget the little girl sizes, but okay, let's go. Oops. Okay, it's the same stuff. Same stuff. This is just ugly stuff. So, I mean, you know, but again, look at the sizes. Who's this for? And I'm sure, you know, your dog needs this. It's like, get out of here. It's just like the dog needs that. I mean, it's just anything to make $1. Okay, what do we got here? Now this is older. This is for older people, which I'm fine with. The older people, now that, I don't know. That's like a onesie. That is a onesie for a baby. This is kind of strange. This is strange because why would this small be there? Well, again, if this is all part of the collection, I guess that's why it's here. But you would think this small stuff would be somewhere else. But yeah, this is a onesie. I mean, come on. What is the onesie? Why is that needed? And these appear to be older. These are all older people. Okay, that's fine. I don't know why you would need the toboggans, but these are onesies. This is for a baby. But why would you need a toboggan in June? You know, I don't get that. This is cheap stuff. So why would anybody be mad about this cheap stuff? On the other hand, this is like very cheap and ugly stuff. So who cares? So, okay, let's go.
This backlash is one example of the struggle for acceptance.
And obviously, as a community, we're just deeply.
Okay, I'm over him.
Has been a divisive topic, and in some cases,
So what do we got here? We got okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with him. He's an adult. This person, nothing wrong with that. Looks older. This looks like that commercial with the boy and the Freddie Mercury girl, maybe kind of that vibes. This person, they stupid picture, they cut off the head. Young girl, okay. This is a young girl. We don't know whose parents are. You know, obviously, she got this contract and the parents didn't mind her having this contract. So there you go. Then here, this is an older person. You can wear this. You're an older person. This appears to be an older person. I have no problem with older people wearing that.
backlash has turned violent. Out front, Minnesota says it needs its allies to stand strong to make sure it shows up in support of LGBTQ community issues and keeping safety as a priority. We'll have more on this at WCCO News at 5. Reg Chapman, WCCO.
So you can make up your own mind, you know. It's
News.
Oh, shush. So you can make up your own mind. That is not attacking anyone or yeah, so that's everybody's talking about that shit up here. Everybody's talking about it. Let's see. Where's my other go-to? Oh, excuse me. Oh my goodness. How can I say this story? Well, let's see what everybody's talking about. She looked in a day. They hijack everything. Doggone humans. Why everybody out there so dusty? Wasn't this BS Hunger Games? Remind me not to take my children to Target. At the end of the day, shit is terrible. It really is. Is that a they or them? Why she look like a CNA? I don't know what that is. A jail employed CNA. Reptilian. Rex Chap Lips man. Oh, that definitely gets a what are we doing? That definitely gets that. I got this little small thing myself. Oh, you had to say that. I was feeling that in my mouth. I was like, oh, that's funny. Uh, all those major courts pushing that. Yeah, kind of, sort of. Anthony. Yeah, that's for the children. Exactly. Anthony. What's happening?
You got to have vision.
Thank you for joining me. Not the dog, too. Yeah, the dog don't know. Stop showing that weird looking guy. I don't know, man. I don't know how to answer that. I'm just reporting it. And the big parade here, the parade here is like if the gay pride parade here and that whole weekend it's 200 and some thousand people be there like that Friday, Saturday, if it don't rain and the weather's fine. Yeah, it's if that's your thing, it's packed. 200,000 people be at this parade. It's one of the biggest parades in the country. But yeah, 200 and some thousand as at the Pride Parade. Yeah. And it is quite a show. It is not a place for children, I don't feel, because you'll see people walking with thongs on that you might not think should wear a thong in public. Now, again, there are children down there, but you will see that kind of thing too. So keep that in mind. Because I feel some things are for adults and some things are for children. But I don't know if that's quite for children. Children are exposed to a little too much. Well, so I'm just reporting it. My opinion is, I just say leave the children out. Grown-ups, I don't give a damn who you sell to. I mean, grown-ups can buy the fuck they want to buy. I'd say, yeah, take the children shit out, but for grown-ups, I don't care. And no one else should care. So, does that make me want to threaten somebody? Because, I go in there and say, hey, this is a onesie, that's babies, and it's celebrating this stuff. The baby doesn't know. So since the baby doesn't know, does the baby need the onesie? Well, I guess on the other hand, the people can say, well, the people love each other so much that they want to share this if they have a baby. And I don't know. I guess there's no one way to look at anything. So I'm not saying there is. You love what you love. You are who you are. And I'm not knocking that. The circus came to town. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, for real. For real. Oh, wow. I've been going this long. Does not seem like it. It's funny. Today was the first day I really ate. I've been eating really great. I just had a salad last night. Like yesterday, kind of changed up my morning. I like drinking coffee, but I've kind of changed up my routine where I'll drink a full one of these first, and then I'll eat, and then I'll drink coffee. Seems like that works a little better. It seems like that works a little better. And yesterday, last 2 days actually, just been eating a lot of just salads and stuff. It's a little bit of cut up chicken in the salad. And because remember, you need to snack like all day. That's the perfect way that you kind of, because like yesterday when I played, I hadn't eaten anything until I only ate when I left, and I played for 2 some hours yesterday too. So circling. Yeah, they going around the town seeing if the people would be up to it. What's the other thing? The other show I'm watching, Mrs. Davis, I think, about it's interesting. This Mrs. Davis. Let me see let me get the. Oh, I forgot to call my mother. Dang, I forgot to call her. Let me see what she wrote it. What is this shit called? Yeah, Mrs. Davis on Peacock. And I'm only like into the third, but it's an interesting thing. It's a continuation of the Matrix in a certain kind of way. even a little bit of Dark City, but more, well, I guess it's a Dark City element in a certain aspect, but it's definitely a continuation of the Matrix. And basically what it's about is it is really about the my, and it makes the my feminine. Okay, that's the best way I can tell you. It makes the my a mother to everything. The my has said there's no more wars, no more, it is totally taken over everything. Just as we allow our children to have access to these phones and tablets, computers, everyone has a little thing in the ear where the my is constantly talking to you and giving you its opinion, asking, again, we're talking about a little in the future, but it already understands all our behavior, surplus, and all that. It's making all the decisions for humankind. Well, there's a part of humankind that doesn't still like this machine, that knows that it's the AI or the my, and it's going to fight it. But it's interesting. It uses but the way it starts off, check this out. And this goes into a current event. So they show, and the only other thing that really showed this was if you guys watched the series on the Knights Templar. When they killed the head Knights Templar, when they killed them Templars in front of Notre Dame, it shows it in that Knights Templar series, if you guys remember that. But they show them chaining 4 Knights Templars. And remember what happened, and remember who the Knights Templars were. Because the Knights Templars were them people's some too, because they set up the banking system. They set up the lending system. You give us your gold, we'll give you this paper, you can go collect gold. And they set up forts during the Holy Land. But anyway, not totally getting into them, one mistake they made, and what they did is they loaned the King of France a bunch of money. Well, the King of France didn't have the money to repay them. And so what the King of France did is, that's why Friday the 13th is called that. Because he gathered all these motherfuckers up and they put them in their headquarters. If you look at this remember the Knights Templars TV or series, remember the series, their headquarters was Notre Dame. They supposedly built Notre Dame. But anyway, in Mrs. Davis, they show all these mugs tied up and burned. And he took their money. He took what was precious to them, their money. He sent his army against them and eradicated. So it's interesting, that's how it starts. And the premise is, so there's also a character that plays, again, I'm only in the 3rd or 4th thing, but there's a character that is Indian Jesus, melanated Jesus. And the main woman that you think sees the other event, but she marries Jesus. She becomes a nun, and Jesus gets his freak on in this series. Jesus is all up on him, So, but it's a continuation. And so there's 2 things going on, because in the series there's Jesus, but there's also the big guy they can talk about. So they're saying that Jesus ain't the ultimate power. There's another ultimate power. And so it comes down to the Father God, and really what it looks like is like the Father God, the Son, and then the negative thing is the female aspect. It's the new God, the tech God, the my. So it's an interesting premise. And again, she's there to kill. The my wants the chalice. What do they call it? When Jesus, the Grail, the Holy Grail. So the computer, the my wants it destroyed. Jesus and Father God want it too. So and so this is the mixture, but it's a new take kind of on the Matrix. So it's interesting. I mean, it's kind of some BS, but I don't watch much series, but it's kind of interesting. So we need a masculine and a feminine to balance. Absolutely. Nice Templar, also Ashy Consonites. Everyone knows by now that we built everything. They just invaded and infiltrated. This is my Karen. Well, this made me think about it. As I was watching it get burned, so The French took it, and I think the Catholics own that property now. Because Knights Templar weren't technically Catholics, I don't think. So, and maybe they were. But remember what happened a couple years ago. They burnt that down. And I didn't think until I was watching the movie that that's what it symbolized. I was like, wait a minute. So when someone went to burn it back down, they're symbolizing when the Knights Templars got burned in front of it. So that was kind of interesting. So it kind of gave more of a motive to that kind of thing. So I don't know. Anthony G, I should bring my fiance on right now because what you just said, okay, so they got the chick riding around in a motorcycle. And I looked at her, I said, you know what she needs? And my fiance said, what? I said, she need the flying nun. That was exactly what I said. Watching that show, I said the same thing. She needs the flying nun. Then she didn't have to be on a motorcycle or have to take a plane or anything. The flying nun could just fly. I said that same thing, Anthony G. I sure did. Ashkenazi's name for, I know. Ashkenazi's nickname for the Ashkenazis. I know. I'm just messing with you. I know. Yeah, but it was like, that was my first thought, was like, why did she fly with the nun? But she can kick ass too. Because they have her again, she's a nun. And Jesus is like Atomic Dog. He's all the nuns is married to Jesus, and Jesus gets busy with all the nuns. So Jesus gets, it's interesting. And he's a melanated person, which is very interesting. Indian melanated person. So we'll see. We'll see how, the writing is so kind. I really don't spend a lot of time watching. I go to more movies than I watch like shows, continuous shows, series. I really ain't with all that. Most movies to me are extremely stupid. That's why I've been surprising. The movies lately have been okay. They've really been okay. The Fast and the Furious was very entertaining. I would definitely say I was highly entertained in that mug. And that's all I ask for is now the one with Rocket and all that, it was too much conversation for me. Guardians of the Galaxy, it was like a lot of talking. The action was great, but it was too much talking. I don't want to hear all this boring dialogue. Like you just got these like it's nonsense talking. Like you can see it's so forced where they want you want to relate to the character, and it's just ridiculous. It's like this nonsense talking. Jesus be big pimping. Yeah, he be pimping on this show. It's like they was messing around. Jesus like, no, I won't give it to you unless you marry me. Do you really want to marry me? And then like once she gets married and they have her go through the thing, she zooms because Jesus apparently has a kitchen she can teleport to. She can just teleport to Jesus's kitchen. And then Jesus was like, hey, we married. Jesus knocks her off. He's a cool Jesus. I still have I've got the last little bit of this crumble I still got. I'm still smoking on this crumble. So I don't know what I haven't asked my man. I've got to pick up some more. I haven't had any wax in a minute. My source has mostly had this crumble. So it's still just that. Just wax kind of stuff. And these gummies, and this stuff ain't even the legal stuff yet. The legal stuff is so much. I mean, this stuff really, this Delta 8 stuff is cool. This stuff is really cool. I mean, you take two of them, you be straight for a minute. Like I take one and go play pickleball. I'll be one with the world. I'll be one with the world. It's the same thing. Like you smoke a joint, go play basketball. That was me my whole life. Smoke a joint and play ball. That was it. I love that. The way it would just make you be so much more creative. You just, like I said, I love telling this story. Game's just beginning. Ray Pete is guarding me. I'm about 6'1", Ray Pete's about 6'3". And I'm like super buzzed off very gold bud. I mean, the bud was gold like this. The bud gleamed like that. Friend that was playing junior college ball out in California. And so for Ray Pete, this is his Super Bowl playing against me. And I come down and I'm buzzed, and I'm come down. And me and Ray Pete done been playing each other since like he's a year older. When I was like 4th, 5th grade. He's known my game that long. So I come down and go up. And when I go up, he like, you could see where if I was a normal dude, where he would have blocked my shot very easy. But the problem was he couldn't stay up when he went up. He didn't realize that I was, just going up. And so once I saw that my normal trajectory would be blocked by him, when he started going down, I just moved the ball a little further out here, and with the flick of my wrist, the next thing we know, chain. And it was like an egg slapped him in the face. And of course, the rest of the game, I destroyed him. He had no confidence after that. I think that first game, I scored like 8 out of 15 with him guarding me. So the point is, there is no point. I prefer sauce or batter crumble is cool too. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. $7.50. Woo. $7.50 for a quarter pound. That is steep. Woo. I prefer. Well, you know what? Up here though, it is going to be when it becomes legal, you can have 4 plants germinating at one time. You rotate 4 at a time. It's going to be legal. You can have 5 pounds of your with you. You can have 5 pounds of weed on your personal at home. So that's paradise. Pounds is going to be real affordable. There's a park on a big ass hill with a view that we used to smoke and hoop at. Oh, I bet that was beautiful. I bet that's. Nah, this is just citrine, real citrine, kind of like smoky scent. It's got a tip of smoky. The tip is smoky, but this is just pure citrine, not lab treated. Yep, just pure citrine. And if you look at the tip, it's got a little smokiness in the tip. Yeah. I'll tell you one of the most beautiful parks, like Michigan, on one side of Michigan, like Michigan is like a glove. And so the glove side is Detroit. And then the middle is Lansing, where Michigan State is. Then you got Ann Arbor. But if you go on the other side, like the other side where you got Lake Michigan, you got Lake Michigan. And there's a place called Traverse City. Well, 2 places. I told this story before. Saugatuck is really beautiful. It's like a little small San Francisco, the way driving into it is. The way you cross Lake Michigan, it's on there. And I told a story before. One of the last football games I ever did in Michigan was it wasn't really a snowstorm, but it was just it wasn't really a blizzard, but it was like it was snowing so hard. When I raised my hand to blow the whistle, I couldn't see the people down on the other side of it. I mean, it was literally snowing this hard. But if you looked at the high school and you walked over to one side of the field, you could see kind of a drop or where you could see the lake. So this city and this school is literally right on the lake. And I remember seeing some dudes was doing basketball. We were making the same amount of money, but they were inside. And one of my poor guys just had a long sleeve shirt on. I had the nylon ref jacket on. I had gloves. I had I had the white hat, but I had like a little thing underneath on my ears. So I was ready. But that is a really pretty place to play football. Now we go up to Traverse City, which is a little further up Lake Michigan. Traverse City has a really beautiful court. Their Macker used to overlook Lake Michigan too. Really beautiful place to hoop. I mean, probably my of outdoor places to hoop, especially I'll say probably the nicest Gus Macker, far as aesthetically, was probably up there in Traverse City. If those of you remember the Gus Macker 3-on-3, and that's all Ice Cube's 3-on-3 did is copied Gus Macker, because Gus Macker actually even tried to do arenas and stuff. But at one time, Gus Macker, like White Man Can't Jump, was even influenced by Gus Macker. This 3-on-3. And 3-on-3 is interesting. It's an interesting breakdown of how to hoop. Because a lot of people, like 3-on-3 is a great way when you have to face people. Now, of course, you can run post stuff off it too, but it's more free-flowing, even where it's more of a free-flowing game. And it shows you really how to break people down. I mean, like I would practice moves. I remember we would play something like, I think the Mackers were 12. I think overtime, maybe 15, but it was no more than 12. And I can remember just like killing a guy on baseline. I used to like half spin. I used to always do, like Earl Monroe had the best half spin, where you could just, you could just, like you could just hit him like you'd be a guy is behind you, and you can just start, spinning both ways. You just do the half spins. And so when you finally turn on a person, they're not really ready for it. You hit them with them half spins, and then you finally get by them, and I killed a guy in the baseline like that. And so it was like, they no way they could double team and stuff. And then for the shooters, it's even cool because, again, that it incorporated the 3-point shot, which definitely strings everybody else out. And so again, it's being able to break a person down one-on-one, which is fun, for people that can really hoop. Being able to face a person. Again, I told you the story where it was like my guy tore his Achilles, and it was 2-on-3. And we ended up beating this team. And really, if my guy wouldn't have got hurt, we probably ended up got second for it. Because the team that beat us for the championship game, or second place, the team beat us for second place. Again, they played proper. They played properly. There's no way we should beat anybody that can really hoop. But we still got third place with 2 people. So that's probably one of my proudest moments. Yeah. So, but that's the good thing about it. And I argue with anybody that if you have children that have basketball aspirations, let them practice 3-on-3. 3-on-3 it really helps you break people down in a different way. Ball handling has to be a lot better. And so I don't know. I liked it. Again, as I got older, I like breaking. I like that type of play. It was a great way, because my whole life, I would say that was probably 2-on-2, 3-on-3 was probably the first kind of ways I learned about picks, screens, so. You tried the shrooms? Yeah, I've had shrooms before. They're nice. They're nice. Close to like between kind of not as hard as acid, but almost. DMT is the same way. Not quite as hard as acid. Well, DMT is almost, yeah. I would say DMT is closer to acid than the shrooms are. But shrooms give you them blue clouds too. You start seeing that blue. It helps people break through, no doubt. I'll pivot to this topic. It was like my fiance, was talking about doing Tantra. And for those of you who know, this is a way to do the highest forms of sex. And it is definitely, and again, it's a way, like I was always talking about, a way of correspondence, a way of moving energies. And there are ways, like she was like, and she's right, there are ways where we could heighten that. Especially like now coming into, it is like, we've got, I think it's the moon and Venus are going into, I think, Gemini. Yeah, moon and Venus going into Gemini, or is it? But anyway, with the moon and Venus energies there, and you set up something like this. And I'll just say from my own personal experience, I know making love, especially with my fiance afterwards, I know I'm able to definitely in our bedroom with my eyes open, astral travel with my eyes open. Like really, it all would just open up and I'm just laying there. You know, we're just laying there. And it's interesting. So I know if we expand that, it'll be even, you know, a better experience. Because this is, you know, this is for real. And maybe, let's see. I know I'm always showing the book and shit, but let me see. Let's see. This might give it to me again. Yeah, this did give it to me. Not quite.